You join me on a sunny morning in October at Rye House Kart Raceway for the 2018 London Cup, the longest established major karting event in the UK. The drivers are getting ready to go out for a 4 days worth of action, and this event has seen many drivers take part over the years, including British Touring Car champion Ash Sutton, who won this very event in 2013. Rye House has a great history since its inception in 1961, and Lewis Hamilton was a local driver who's gone on to many great things. The day is going to be exciting. The drivers are getting ready for the heats. Let's see what action follows. Well, the first of today's racing action takes place in the Bambino class. This is for kids between the ages of 6 and 8. To take you through the heats, it's over to Andy McEwen.
Thanks, Lloyd. Well, the youngsters got the day's racing off to the perfect start with action right the way throughout their heats. In Heat 1, it was Fraser Anderson who started from pole and led from lights to flag, but only just. The likes of Jesse Phillips in particular gave him a real run for his money through the early part of the race before Fraser pulled away towards the end to take a convincing win. Heat 2 was slightly less straightforward though, with Harry Freeman making a poor start from pole position, allowing Mayan Patel through into the race lead. The two would debate the lead of the race throughout the entire 11-lap heat, with Mayan eventually coming out on top. Further back, Rio Licata was getting his elbows out as he moved through the order, whilst Hallie Finletter found the outside line of the hairpin was not the best place to be. It was a last gasp rush to the flag for Harry Freeman to try and draw alongside, but he couldn't snatch the victory away from Patel. Well, on to the B final now then. Freddie Hare and Rio Licata on row 1, with Gilles Herman and Oscar Askel-Tucker on row 2. Finley Lyons and Nate Edwards are on the third row, ahead of Milo Manderson and Ronnie May next in line. So this B final, there are 3 positions up for grabs into the A final grid. The top 3 finishers from this race will progress to the A final. These are for the drivers who've scored the less amount of points over the course of the heats and qualifying, although it's worth saying that Freddie Hare, the pole sitter, only missed out on the A final by a single point, so he'll be gunning for a top 3 position here to get into that final. Away we go, the 23 kart of Freddie Hare it is then that leads them down towards turn number 1, with Rio Licata in second position, kart number 19, and the Bambinos work their way through the first corner, all safely through, which is good news, and then things start to get really tight. Around the outside line there goes Ronnie Ray Carter in the number 33 car, on board with Finley Lyons here, the son of British Touring Car star Stuart Lyons. He runs a bit wide there though and just loses a bit of ground. 77 there on the inside line. That's Milo Manderson, gets eased over onto the grass there. That was the number 5 of Sergio Wirtz that he was racing with. They just about avoided contact, but only just, I think. On board with Finley Lyons again. In front of us now is Noah Baglin. Noah Baglin, who started some way down the order, had a bit of a hard time in the heats earlier on, but he's slowly starting to pick his way forward at the very head of the field, though, no doubt about it. It's Freddie Hare that leads the way, but Rio Licata trying to draw alongside there. Into the middle portion of the race now. Rio Licata here is dicing away with Noah Baglin for the race lead. Licata has gone through, but Baglin trying to go around the outside there. Couldn't do it in towards turn number 1. They've both found a way past Freddie Hare, but Freddie's still there in third position with the pink numbers on the 23 kart. The right chassised Bambino Comair. And he is really harassing these lead 2, but Noah Baglin in particular is applying the pressure here to Rio Licata, who is having to watch behind him really and trying to make sure he doesn't make any slip-ups. He runs a bit wide there though. This could be Baglin's opportunity. No, Baglin's up the inside. He's looking over to try and see whether he's clear of the 19 kart, and he is, and so he can turn into the chicane online. He runs a bit wide though actually, so Licata might try and come back at him. Freddie Hare's got a grandstand view of all of this as they almost bang wheels on the exit of the chicane into the final couple of corners now, but Baglin has got his kart in front, and Rio Licata now has to try and find a way back through. I reiterate the point though that these 3 are already guaranteed a space in the A final, so it doesn't really matter what order in which they cross the line at the end of this, the final lap. They should all get through as long as they don't start really tripping over each other and allow Gilles Herman, who's in 4th position, to close in and pick a position on the podium away from them. Through the hairpins they go. The number 1 kart of Noah Baglin, who is leading away, started down in 11th on the grid, would you believe, for this B final, and he nearly throws it all away there. He runs a bit wide out of the right-handed hairpin, but actually gets some good momentum off the corner nonetheless. Over the curbs there for Rio Licata as he tries to chase him down, gets a bit out of shape through the tight right-hander, and I think that might have done it. That's probably handed this one to Noah Baglin, who turns through the final corner and is about to become our first final winner of the day. The B final in the Bambinos goes to Noah Baglin, second goes to Rio Licata, and Freddie Hare comes home in third. They will be the three drivers that progress to the A final. Gilles Herman misses out in fourth, with Milo Manderson fifth. Nate Edwards is sixth, then Finlay Line seventh. Oscar Askel Tucker is eighth, ahead of Isaac Barker, and Sergio Verts rounding out the top 10. We lost Ryland Blake, Archie Beard, and Oscar O'Sullivan, unfortunately, from that final. And we look forward now to more thrills and spills in the main final coming up shortly.
Noah, well done. You won that race. You must be very, very happy.
Yes, I am happy.
Yeah? Was that very exciting? What was the best bit?
Overtaking everybody when I came to 11th to first.
Rio, well done. You finished second. That was a very, very fun race, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah? Is this your first time you've raced here?
Yes, it was.
You liked it here today?
Yes.
Oh, brilliant. Well done. You can go away with the second place. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Freddie, you finished third. Lots and lots of fun out there today, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah? Was there any bit that you liked most?
Overtaken.
Overtaking. Well done. You get to go away today with the trophy. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We're now set, ready to go for the Bambino, A final. Now in this, at the back of the grid, you'll see that the top three from the B final have made their way up. They get a chance to race once more, but it's at the front of the grid where we see Fraser Anderson on pole position from Mayan Patel and Jesse Phillips. The racing in the heats was very close, but Andy McEwen is going to talk you through this absolute final race for the Bambinos.
Yes, thank you, Lloyd. Looking forward to this one. It will be Fraser Anderson and Mayan Patel on the front row of the grid, with Jesse Phillips and Harry Freeman next. Kit Bolofsky and Hallie Findlater are on row 3, then Jack Pullen and Alfie Howland, with Max Mason and Fletcher Jameson rounding out the top 8. Well, we've had 4 heats this morning, 2 of which were won by Mayan Patel, which means that he's tied on points, actually, with Fraser Anderson coming into this race. Of course, now it is winner takes all. Fraser himself has won a heat, so too has Jesse Phillips, and they are all in the top 3 on the grid. The lights go out there, and away we go. Bit of jockeying for position there in the midfield, but it will be Anderson that leads the way in the yellow 100 kart into turn 1, and Jesse Phillips comes through into second place, gets himself ahead of Mayan Patel, on board with Max Mason here in car number 7, and very, very dicey indeed in the midfield. Fletcher Jameson there, the 99, chopping across our bows as we head up towards the hairpin for the first time. Back with Mason on the left there is Alfie Howland, who goes through on the inside, then runs a bit wide. Whoops, a couple of spins though. Oh, that's a shame. Noah Baglin is one of them. The other one is Hallie Findlater. In fact, there was a third that had gone round further back as well. But Noah Baglin, having worked so hard to get himself onto this grid by finishing first in the B final, unfortunately it comes to nothing, because a spin on the opening lap in an 11-lap final leaves you too much to do really for the rest of the race. There was another spin there, I noticed, in front of Max Mason. That was possibly Alfie Howland that went around. So it's a dramatic start then to our Bambino final here. But across the line, at the end of the opening lap, it's Fraser Anderson that leads the way. Second place is Jesse Phillips, and Jesse looks pretty racy here, doesn't he? He's going to try and go around the outside at turn 1 without risks leaving the door open, because Mayan Patel is not that far behind him. Through the left-hander down to the hairpins now. These are 2 of the better overtaking opportunities on the circuit, but it really does require a bit of a mistake from the kart in front, and Fraser Anderson for the time being is not forthcoming with a mistake. Through the right-hander, he does now run a bit wide though, and this could be Phillips' opportunity. Yes, it is. He gets up the inside line, but doesn't quite have the momentum down towards the chicane, so it's still Fraser Anderson that leads the way. Back with Max Mason here in the midfield battles up towards the chicane. Very bumpy. You can see just how bumpy it is here around this Rye House karting circuit. The London Cup, though, with its first final of the day, already producing lots of excitement. And Fraser Anderson doesn't get a good run out of the final corner there, and so Jesse Phillips draws alongside, gets his nose in front, gets his whole kart in front, in fact, and takes the lead down towards turn number 1. So Jesse Phillips, it's taken him 2 laps, but he has got into the lead of the race now. Can he pull away from Fraser Anderson, or is Fraser going to come back at him? Don't count out Mayan Patel here either, in 3rd position. Through the hairpin, oh, Anderson throwing everything at it there, but he almost ran into the back there of Jesse Phillips' kart, and had almost actually cost him speed rather than gaining him an advantage. They all take very different lines through the second of those hairpins, but again, it's the wider line through there that sometimes seems to benefit you the most, doesn't it? So the Leaders are about to come through them towards their final lap. Through they go. It is Jesse Phillips that leads the way still. Fraser Anderson in second. Mayan Patel in third, as it has been since about mid-race distance. And are we going to see a last-minute change of leadership here, or will Jesse Phillips be able to hang on? Jesse won his heat earlier on and had a second place in the first heat. That heat was won by Fraser Anderson, so he has beaten Fraser in one final here today. In the other race they were together, it was Fraser that took the victory. This is the important one, though, the grand final at the end of the day. On board with Hallie Finletter here, trying to fight back after that moment earlier on. Rhea Carter is the cart in front as the leaders go through the final couple of corners. And, well, Fraser Anderson's throwing everything at this. He's right on the tail of Jesse Phillips. He's in the tow. He'll be trying to get the run to the flag, but he's not quite going to get there. The first final of the day goes to Jesse Phillips. He wins by less than 0.2 of a second from Fraser Anderson in second and Mayan Patel in third. Fletcher Jameson is fourth, with Riley Boxall in fifth, and Max Mason, Harry Freeman and Jack Pullen to round out the top 8. A great opening final of the day, though. Plenty more finals to come later on in the programme, but the first one goes the way of Jesse Phillips.
Jesse, well done. You won the race. How was it today?
Good. It was hard because the qualifying was hard because Fraser nearly, I forgot what he did in the first race, but I think he came first, and then I came. No, the first race I were in a different group, but I made to get up into a different group, and.
But you won the final. Well done.
Thanks.
Congratulations. Well done, Jesse. And Fraser, second place. Are you happy? It's been a very fun day today, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah? What was the best bit? All of it?
Practicing.
Practicing was the best bit. Well done on your second place. And man, well done, third place. Have you had a good day today as well?
Yeah.
Yeah? What's been your best bit? What's been your most favourite bit of today?
The first 2 heats.
The first 2 heats were your favourite. Well done for your third place. Congratulations, guys.
Back to the London Cup and the best of the heats from the Rotax 177s, which got off to a dramatic start with a busy rush towards turn 1 at the start of their first heat. It was a heat that was dominated on the road by cart number 18, Scott Clee, who led from lights to flag. Behind him, there was lots of jockeying for position, though, in particular the fight that was going on for third place. Darren Sadler eventually coming out on top in cart 97. Clee, though, was excluded after failing post-race scrutineering, handing the victory to Lee Sullivan. Heat number 2 saw a very close affair between Alfie Cockerell and Dan Devereux, who got away at the front of the field from the word go and never left each other alone for the entire 15 laps. It was the 53 cart of Cockerell that would be in front for the whole race, though, barely hanging on by 0.6 of a second. Andrew Cole got into third after that sensational dive up the inside of the hairpin, but no one could catch Alfie Cockerell, who started his day in perfect style with a heat win.
Well, it's more racing for the older guys. This time it's the senior Rotax class of kart. The heats again, very close, some tough action out there, and a little bit of bad luck with some of the drivers who we might have expected to see in the A final that are going to be ending up in the B. It's over to Randy to take you through the action.
Yeah, thanks, Lloyd. Well, dramas already, it would seem, for Ian Brown, whose cart appears to have stopped on the way from the grid, so he won't be taking the start for this one. Gyula Gardoni, though, will, and he's on pole position with Tim Darlow alongside. Danny Ryder and Paul Hibbard are on row 2, with Tony Kunyasik and Dave Large on the third row. Jeff Burrows and Mark Wingard are next, with Russell Allen now on his own on row number 5. Well, there are 4 transfer spots up for grabs in this one. The top 4 finishers will go through into the A final later on. Who is going to get there, though? Let's find out as the B final for the Rotax 177s gets underway. Good start by Gordonio, but into second place goes Danny Ryder. Danny Ryder gets up the inside of Tim Darlow. We've seen a few times today that outside line is not necessarily the best place to be off the start, and that was proven there by Tim Darlow, who loses that second place. But he's still inside the all-important top 4. That was Dave Large, who was charging around the outside of Paul Hibbard there. I think that was fourth position going through the first of the hairpins. Found some ripping traction out there, though, and takes the place back. So the order is Gardoni leading the way, and Ryder in second. That was on board with Tim Darlow as he nearly clattered straight into the back of Danny Ryder's kart. But Danny looks pretty quick here, gets a good exit from the final corner as well. He'll be challenging Gardoni down towards turn number 1. And in fact, he gets up the inside line and takes the lead away. Nicely done. So Danny Ryder goes from third to first in just over a lap. And he now has the advantage in this B final. Gardoni now has to get his elbows out to try and keep Tim Darlow at bay. Oh, when he runs a bit wide there, Tim almost had to go up the inside. And they're being caught there. Look, up the inside looking was the 66 car of Dave Large, who started down in 6th position. So great racing here in the early stages. Back through the chicane. There, though, is the 27 kart of Danny Ryder, as he now in the middle portion of the race starts to pull away from the rest of the field. He's looking back, but he can barely see anyone behind him. Look at the gap that he's got back to Dave Large, who's now into 2nd position, and the fight really is going to be on for 3rd place there, as Tim Darlow tries to keep Eula Gardoni behind him. Gardoni in the darker of the coloured cars, trying to work his way into 3rd, but at the moment they are both in transfer spots. This is the fight that's going on for 5th, and it's the number 7 of Paul Hibbert who is hanging on, but both he and Tony Kunyasik behind him are a little too far away from the top 4, realistically, to work their way into a transfer spot, unless something were to go wrong for one of the leading quartet of karts in front of them. Across the start-finish line, though, is coming the race leader, and I believe he's about to start his final lap. And for Danny Ryder, it's been a perfect race so far. Dave Large in 2nd, still the same order for 3rd. Look, it's still going to be Tim Darlow who is in 3rd position as they go on to the final lap. There's Dave Large in 2nd, though, working his way through that tight little section at the start of the lap, then down the straight towards the hairpin, using lots of curbs, more curbs than we saw being used by the Bambino karts earlier on. These are a bit bigger, they're a bit more stable over the bumps, and so they can afford to ride the curbs a little more aggressively. Dave Large down towards the chicane, then the 2 chicanes towards the end of the lap, the tight right-hander and a short shoot towards this similarly styled final couple of corners. It's a victory, though, for Danny Ryder. He gets his way into the A final with Dave Large. Eula Gardoni is 3rd, but look at that. Tim Darlow drops 2 positions on the final lap to 6th, handing a transfer spot to Paul Hibbert. Tony Kunyasik rounds out the top 5 with Darlow down in 6th, but that was a real drama there for Darlow. He didn't see what happened, but it costs him a shot at the A final.
Danny, some interesting manoeuvres out there today. Some exciting action as well, and congratulations on your win. Talk us through a little bit of it.
Well, I knew I had to sort of make the top 4 to get into the A final. I was pretty confident I could do it because we've had issues all day, and usually we're kind of at the pointy end of the grid. So as long as I made the pass early and got away from Mr. Large here, I knew I'd be all right. Sort of halfway through it, I saw Dave coming through and thought, uh-oh, I need to start pushing a bit now. He's going to be coming for me, and he was at quite a pace. But yeah, on the day it all happened well. It all worked out well.
Brilliant. Well, congratulations on your win. We look forward to seeing you later on.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Dave, congratulations on your 2nd place. Looked like you were closing in a little bit towards the end there, but just couldn't quite catch up.
I got held up by the couple in front of me, and by that time Danny had got away. So I was just, I think, edging towards him as the race went on, but it was too fine fun. I tried.
Not enough laps to catch up with him.
No, maybe next time. Maybe next time.
Well, we look forward to seeing that. Congratulations once again.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, the final for the Rotax 177 sees Lee Sullivan and Charlie Whaley share row number 1 with Dan Devereaux and Alfie Cockerell on the 2nd row. Andrew Cole and Darren Sadler are on row 3 with John Soule and Sean Smith making up the 4th row of the grid. Matthew Lear and Ross Meakin rounding out the top 10 of a packed 25 kart grid, at the back of which we find the 4 graduates from the B final earlier on. There they are, Ryder, Large, Gardoni and Paul Hibbert, who got himself into a transfer spot on the final lap of the race. Well, across the heat so far, Lee Sullivan has taken a pair of victories, whilst Dan Devereaux and Alfie Cockerell have taken a winner piece. It will therefore be Sullivan that has the pole position, but Charlie Whaley trying to go right round the outside of him through turn number 1 has not had a win so far today, but a consistent day for him with a pair of seconds has given him a good grid position. There's drama further back though, 1 or 2 falling by the wayside immediately off the start. The leaders though have all got safely through the first sequence of corners and they're doing battle. There's drama though in the infield section this time on the opening lap, so that's probably going to shuffle the order, because I can see that Lee Sullivan is no longer leading the way. Who has got out in front? Has Charlie Wade found a way through? We'll check in on the leaders in a moment or two. No, it's Dan Devereaux. Look, Dan Devereaux's got the lead as they come through to the end of lap number 1. So Devereaux leading the way. with I think Alfie Cockerell in second position potentially, so it's all changed around at the front of the field. There's no doubt about it though. It's cart number 69, Dan Devereux, that leads the leading quartet through turn number 1. And in second position, he's going to be 86. That's Andrew Cole, in fact, into second. So Andrew Cole, who we saw making some really aggressive manoeuvres in his heats earlier on. Well, he's clearly made some pretty decisive progress through the pack here as well, because he started 5th and he's second at the end of the opening lap. Through the chicane again, there are always one of the cars that's had issues. That's Hugo Pereira, who's had a moment on the opening lap and has dropped towards the back of the field. This, though, is your fight for the race lead. Two similarly liveried carts, but it's the 69 of Devereux ahead of the 86 of Andrew Cole as they streak down through turn number 1 again. So quick through there, very bumpy as well. Andrew Cole trying his best here to usurp Dan Devereux from the race lead. Hairpin again closes right in and bouncing over the curves on both the entry and the exit of the hairpin there for all of the leading group. The straggler here a bit further down the order, that's number 97. Another cart trying to fight back after its dramas earlier on in the race. Darren Sadler, that is, who started 6th. Oh, off has gone. Number 53, that is Alfie Cockerell from 3rd place. So Alfie Cockerell's been off through the final sequence of corners there and has thrown away a potential podium finish. That's a real shame for Alfie, but just pushing so hard. A podium really is worth very little. You want the win, and if you're in that top 3, there's in a way nothing worse than finishing 2nd or 3rd. You may as well push hard for the victory, and Alfie may be pushing a little bit too hard. Well, there is Alfie. He's rejoined the circuit and has just been overtaken, in fact, by the also recovering Darren Sadler. But those two now know that they're a long way behind and have little to no chance of really gaining much further ground. So a dramatic race this has been already. They're nearly a lap down, in fact, on this leading group, which is still led by Devereux with Cole in 2nd place. And look who's joining in the fun there. At the back of that leading 5 in 5th position is Scott Clee, the winner of the first of our heats, but he was excluded after failing the post-race scrutineering checks. And, well, Scott Clee, with a really good fight back here from the back of the field, could yet be a challenger for a podium and maybe even a victory. He got himself a podium in the 2nd of the heats earlier on today from the back of the grid, so we know that he can overtake, we know that he can run quickly. He's one of the fastest drivers out there. That exclusion just meant that he had a bad grid position for this race. Remember that your points that you accrue over your 2 heats and through qualifying all add up to decide, first of all, which final you are in, and then what order you're in on the grid for that final. And the drivers with the most points start closest to the front. Well, Scott Clee, look, in the last couple of laps, has moved his way into 3rd place now. Dan Devereux looking more secure as the race leader, but Scott Clee is applying all sorts of pressure to Andrew Cole, who's been used to applying the pressure himself so far today. But Andrew in 2nd position, losing touch slightly with the race leader, but look, you can see why, because the red number 18 of Scott Clee is breathing down his neck. Maybe it was the number 40 car through turn number 1 as the leaders come through the final sequence of corners, and Dan Devereux is going to become our 2nd final winner of the day. The Rotax 177s go to Dan Devereux, 2nd for Andrew Cole, and Scott Clee with a great fight back to get himself onto the podium in 3rd. Sean Smith was 4th, with Lee Sullivan 5th, then John Soule, Matthew Lear, Jay Ford, Andrea De Luca and Danny Ryder, 10th position, having transferred from the lead grid. Very, very good result for him. Joe Hunt and Laszlo Janos, head up the rest of the runners after what was a breathless final for the Rotax 177s. Dan Devereux, though, drove a really good race. All of the work was done on the first lap, really, and he takes the victory.
Dan, well done on winning the 177A final. Pretty pleased with yourself.
I'm made up, full of emotion at the moment. Just trying to hold it together. It's been about 18 years since I've won anything big, so I'm just over the moon, really. Can't say 1-2 GMS lockout, so we're happy. So
that's absolutely fantastic, and what a way to end the racing season as well.
Oh yes, definitely. So now we'll just be getting ready for Super 1 next year, and GMS, we're coming for it. I just want to thank David Griffiths from GMS Motorsport for running me today and getting me out the front. I'm overwhelmed. I just don't know what to say, really.
Oh, that's absolutely brilliant news. Congratulations once again.
Cheers. Thank you very much, sir.
Andrew, congratulations on your 2nd place. Tough battles out there, and you made it through from a slightly lower starting position.
Yeah, I started 5th. I was really pleased with it. So I haven't been out of the kart for 3 years, so yeah, just got to get on the weight limit and improve my fitness. So yeah, I was really pleased with it.
No, that's absolutely brilliant, and something to look forward to for next year.
Hopefully.
Andrew, well done, brilliant. Congratulations on your 2nd place.
Thank you.
Scott, remind me again where you started on the grid, because 3rd place finish, but you started a long way down.
Yeah, so we started 14th position.
So to come through to finish third, you must be pretty pleased with yourself.
Yeah, we're pleased with it. Yeah, it's a good race. We had the pace there.
Yeah, lots of action going through, and something to set you up for next year?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, it's been a good weekend for us.
Excellent. Well, congratulations, and we look forward to seeing you out there racing again in the future.
Cheers.
This time it's a different type of kart. This is the IAME class. No different Class A or Class B in this type of racing. So it's over to Andy to take you through the heat.
Jacob Ashcroft had the pole position for the first of the heats earlier on this morning, but did not lead into turn one. Riley Cranham swept across his bows on the outside line to hold the lead, but not for long. The pair would trade positions on several occasions throughout the race. So too would Mason Thurlow and Ethan Woodward as they diced for third position, making it difficult to know which of the two pairs of battling drivers to watch for. The wheel-to-wheel battles are plenty, with both Cranham and Ashcroft having a share of the lead at multiple points in the race. Here was a nice move for Ashcroft up the inside into turn one, but it didn't last for long. Heart rate struck with a mechanical failure, putting him out of the race and handing the victory to Cranham. It was Woodward in second, from Mason Thurlow in third.
So with the heats over, Riley Cranham starts on pole position with Mason Thurlow second, Ethan Woodward third, and Seb Moore in fourth place. It's back over to Andy to take you through the race.
Yeah, thank you, Lloyd. Well, an intriguing final here set up for us. Riley Cranham and Mason Thurlow, as you said, on row one, with Ethan Woodward and Seb Moore row two. Oliver Harrison and Ellis Pullen-Memmin are on row three, ahead of Jacob Ashcroft and Jensen Chalk. But watch out for Jacob Ashcroft, because Jacob, we know, has race-winning potential. Had that non-finish in the first heat, actually bounced back to a fourth place finish in the second heat, salvaged a few points. On board there with the number 22 kart, we'll be watching out for him as he tries to move forward. On board now with Mason Thurlow, though, from the outside of row one as the race gets underway. Can he beat Riley Cranham into turn one? No, he can't. Cranham it is that leads the way then. Thurlow drops through into second position on board with Ashcroft. Here he's got the 65 kart in front of him. That's Henry Domain, who actually started down in ninth. So Henry's had a really good start, and not such a strong one maybe for Ashcroft. Not the way that he wanted his race to start. Leading two, though, worked their way through the hairpin. Now, Riley Cranham won the first heat after the demise of Ashcroft by nearly 5 seconds, but Mason Thurlow actually only trailed him by less than a tenth of a second in heat number two. So Mason is every bit as quick here today as Riley Cranham is, and he's going to be a thorn in Riley's side throughout the course of this final. I'm pretty sure of that. Through the chicane they go. Of course, they'll be watching behind them to see who else arrives on the scene. Out of the final corner they go, and Cranham wasn't that quick out of there, and so Thurlow gets the chance to get up the inside line. He's going for the race lead, and Mason Thurlow is going to go through. Great stuff there, so Thurlow gets the lead away, and Riley Cranham drops back down into second position. Now, can he retaliate? That's the next question. Mason Thurlow may have got the lead, but we're only very early in this final. There is plenty of time left for Riley Cranham to try and retake the first position. He's right on the rear bumper of the 29 machine. Through the hairpins, Thurlow runs a bit wide there over the curbs, but that's been the usual racing line that we've seen a lot of drivers taking in that part of the circuit. It doesn't really seem to slow you down too much. If anything, you can carry extra momentum off the corner as a result of the wider line. Final chicane they go then. Meanwhile, further back, this is a fight that's going on. Number 83 trying to hang on. That's Ethan Woodward, and he is dicing away with the 65 kart behind him of Henry Domain. This is for fourth position, I believe, at this stage of the race. The two green karts on board with Mason Thurlow, though, as he chases down Riley Cranham. So Riley Cranham has found a way back through. So Cranham, we saw losing the lead a little while ago. He's now back out in front, and Mason Thurlow has it all to do once again. Across the start-finish line they go, into the closing stages of the race now. And is Mason Thurlow going to be able to find a way through? He's in the tow, but couldn't quite get there in time to challenge into turn number one. Fast running out of time now. Cranham has a quick look over his right shoulder to see where he is. And actually gets a really good exit from the first corner there, does Riley, in the zero car. But what can Mason Thurlow do? Is he losing ground over this lap, though? I think he might be. That gap's going up as they go through the tight right-hander. Past the bulk of the spectators and the friends and family watching on anxiously from the sidelines. We see on board with Mason Thurlow through the chicane down towards the final couple of corners, and Riley Cranham. It's been a tight race so all the way through really, but right towards the end Riley's been able to assert his authority and pull away at the head of the field. Across the start finish line he goes onto the final lap of the race. Riley Cranham almost unbeatable now. He's pulling away from Mason Thurlow. He's starting to leave him behind. Still side by side battling further back though. Look at that, back up the inside line goes Henry Domain, that was. And and that was for 4th position ahead of Ethan Woodward. Jacob Ashcroft, by the way, has worked his way into a podium position from towards the back of the field. So Jacob Ashcroft in the 22 car, he's just going to run out of time, I think, to catch the leaders, but he is lapping quicker than them. He's actually the fastest cart even on the track. Traffic ahead now for Riley Cranham, but it's only a couple of corners to go. He dives between them though. That was a decisive manoeuvre because he knew that if he got held up there, that would give Mason Thurlow the chance to attack. As it was though, he carves his way through and he will see the checkered flag. The victory in the Bambino A final goes the way of Riley Cranham. Second goes to Mason Thurlow. And Jacob Ashcroft, not a bad result that, in 3rd place. Henry Domain is 4th with Ethan Woodward 5th. And Robert Harrison rounding out the top 6 finishes. Seb Moore, the only non-finisher from what was a breathless final.
Riley, well done. You won the race. Are you pleased?
Yes.
Was it fun out there?
Yeah.
What was the best bit?
I don't know.
Was it winning?
Probably.
Probably. Oh, brilliant. Well done. And Mason, come second. You happy?
Yeah.
Yeah, you look really close at the end there. Were you very close on taking him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well done. Congratulations. Jacob, was that good?
Yeah.
Has it been a fun day today?
Yeah.
Yeah, really enjoyed it. What bit have you liked the best?
The final.
The final. Well done. We now have the Honda Cadet class of kart. This is for drivers between the ages of 8 and 13. They've only got one final race. They run their heat earlier on, and he will take you through all the action.
Well, it didn't take very long for the drama to ensue in the first of the heats earlier on. The leaders getting away from the line nicely, but as they went through the first corner, there was drama behind, with James Bell launching himself over the back of Jacob Gilman and catapulting into the tyre wall. It was a big accident. Everyone involved was okay. The red flag had to be thrown. On the restart, it was pole sitter Daniel Guinchard who held the lead down towards turn number 1, with Oliver Greenall barging his way through to 2nd place at the expense of Riley Brown. There was more contact though, this time between Joshua Graham and Ben Rayburn midway through the first lap, but the victory went to Daniel Guinchard. Daniel was able to make it a double race victory in heat number 2 as well, whilst Oliver Greenall and Jake Genovese joined him on the podium in both encounters.
So with the Cadet heat run, we see Daniel Guinchard on pole position from Oliver Greenall, Riley Brown in 3rd, and Jake Genovese in 4th place. It's over to Andy to take you through all of the racing action.
Thanks very much, Lloyd. Well, it's been a dominant day so far for Daniel Guinchard. Can he bring home the bacon in the final, though? Well, we're about to find out. Oliver Greenall lines up alongside him. Riley Brown and Jake Genovese are on row 2, with Hayden Eldridge and Josh Patch on the 3rd row, ahead of Alfie Thompson, Casey Lynch, Joe Cheek and Yihan Kalichurn to round out the top 10. It's another big grid though, 28 carts, set to take the start here. It's going to be a busy run through that first corner, but Guinchard knows he's got the speed here. He's won both of his heats fairly convincingly, actually, by over 2 seconds on each occasion. Is the final going to be the same? Well, watch out for Oliver Greenall from the outside of row 1, on board here with Josh Patch as the lights go out. Away we go, and the rush towards turn 1 begins. It's a good start made by Greenall on the outside line, and he knows this is his best chance to try and get past Guinchard. Can't do it through turn number 1 though. Did he manage to get back into 2nd place? No, he didn't. So into 2nd place, I think, has gone Riley Brown. Oliver Greenall took his chance around the outside there at the first corner, knowing it could risk him losing ground. Oh dear. Big loss of ground there for car number 89. That's Alfie Thompson, unfortunately. 19 has gone around as well in avoidance. That was Liam Hartley. So a couple falling by the wayside early on. They'll both rejoin, but there's more drama then at the next corner as well. And 91, I think, was one of the cars that had been off at the next turn. So a dramatic start to proceedings here in the final, as we saw in the heats earlier on. Running wide in front of us there, Jake Genovese were on board with Hayden Eldridge as they come through to complete the opening lap then underneath the starting gantry. And Daniel Guinchard starting as he means to here. He's got the lead, he's pulling away from the rest of them behind. Oliver Greenall, I think, might have got back into 2nd place ahead of Genovese, hasn't he? In fact, Riley Brown, excuse me, beg your pardon, in 3rd place. Genovese a bit further back. There is Genovese, the green number 40 car in 4th position. 41 behind him is Hayden Eldridge. And those two battling over 4th position, seeing the leading trio though just starting to escape up the road ever so slightly. Through the chicane, back through turn number 1 though is going the race leader Daniel Guinchard, who looks so relaxed at the wheel of that number 2 car, doesn't he? He doesn't really look like he's trying that hard. Great view on board though here, and you can see the feet at work as he powers his way down towards the hairpin, flicks it into the right-hander, right foot flat to the boards there as he accelerates down towards the final chicane, flat through the left-hander. Hits the brakes quite hard though for the right-hander, trying to get the nose in, get the kart sliding through the turn, and then again flat through this left-hander, and just a dab on the brakes for the final corner, just settling the kart through there, out over the curb and powering back down towards the start-finish line, making it all look very easy indeed. Oliver Greenall is indeed in second place. The battle really is going on for third, where Riley Brown is trying to fend off Jake Genovese here, who has caught him now in the 40 car and has brought with him Hayden Eldridge. So a three-way fight for the bottom step of the podium at the moment as we move now into the closing stages of this race. Daniel Guinchard leading the way on board with Hayden Eldridge. In front of us you can see the 40 car of Jake Genovese is really keeping Riley Brown busy. Riley though not putting a foot wrong just yet. Out of the right-hander they go, up against the tyre wall, down towards the chicanes that end the lap. And this is where it's really important to keep your rhythm, not make too many mistakes. Daniel Guinchard just showboating now. Look how much curb he's using, launching that kart into the air. Bit of traffic though in front of him to deal with in the next few laps. He'll need to be a bit careful he doesn't get tripped up by the squabbling back markers, who won't necessarily know that he's coming this quickly. Looking behind him, just checking where everybody is. Nice controlled performance this though from Daniel Guinchard, who turns through the head. But look, he's spending more time looking to see where everyone else is than looking where he's going. This is a very assured performance indeed. Side by side for third place though, a bit of wheel bagging and a change for third place. Jake Genovese goes through, gets past Riley Brown and into a podium position. We didn't see how that started, but we certainly saw how it ended. There was a chink of an opening up the inside and Jake went straight through and muscled his way into a podium position. Let's wait and see whether he holds on to it or not. Back with Guinchard though as he tries to work his way past the back markers. He doesn't need to though, because the checkered flag's out already and he wins the Honda Cadet final. Oliver Greenall is second and Jake Genovese does hang on to a podium in third. Hayden Eldridge got fourth ahead of Riley Brown on the last lap as well, with Josh Patch rounding out the top six. Great racing throughout there, but there really was no catching Daniel Guinchard. A perfect score today. 2 heat victories and the victory in the Honda Cadet final as well. He is a deserving winner, with Oliver Greenall and Jake Genovese joining him on the podium.
Daniel, well done on winning the Honda Cadet final. How do you feel?
It feels amazing. I've been trying for a few years and it's never really worked out for us.
So today it's been on your side, all that training's paid off. Been an exciting race today.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Just trying to keep my head for the 10 minutes was hard enough in itself.
Well, you certainly did it. Congratulations on your victory.
Thank you very much.
Welcome back to the London Cup and the heats for the senior Rotax drivers. These are the drivers that will compete for the London Cup in the grand final at the end of the day. The first of the heats earlier on this morning saw some of the best racing of the day, with lots of changes of position in some of the fastest karts racing here this weekend. It was a victory in the opening race for the number 48 machine of Mike Spencer. Mike Spencer taking the victory, but he did not have it easy. There were a few others who had it even more difficult further back though. The 86 kart there getting into strife early on. But it was a victory for Mike Spencer from George Sanders and Taylor Bellini in heat number 1. Heat number 2 was won by Alfie Haralambus, who took the lead at turn 1 and never really looked back. And in fact, Alfie took the 2 most dominant heat victories of the day, winning the first one by 0.7 of a second and the second by 1.5 seconds, both times over Dean Bristow in second position. There are multiple drivers though who could compete for the grand final at the end of the day.
So as I mentioned earlier, some bad luck on some of the drivers in the heats has seen them out of position. 4th place on the grid, Matt Manderson, former Sports 2000 champion, keeping his hand in the racing. 3rd, Simon Keeble. 2nd, Steve Borat. And on pole position for the B race is Sam Gumbron. It's over to Andy for the race.
Thanks, Lloyd. Lots at stake in this one, most notably 4 transfer spots into the A final. Sam Gumbrell and Stephen Beret started as the favourites on row 1, with Simon Keeble and Matt Manderson row 2. Chris Calava and James Tomset are on the 3rd row of the grid, ahead of Luke Collins, James Freeman, Albert Cole and Callum Farley to round out the top 10. Here we go then, the last chance for these drivers to get themselves into the grand final of the London Cup. Away we go, the rush towards turn number 1 begins. It's a good start made by Sam Gumbrell from the inside of row number 1. He maintains the lead down through the first corner. Into second place by the looks of it is Stephen Beret, where he started, so the top 2 stay as they were. There's Callum Farley, the 99 machine, just ahead of 164 Luke Collins. So Farley has gained some good ground because Collins started 7th and Farley was 10th, and he's actually ahead of the 164 car in the early stages. On board with Simon Keeble here in the 47 machine, winning what I think is 4th position, just behind Matt Manderson. So Manderson's got into 3rd place. At the moment, all 4 of those leading karts would progress to the A final later on. Across the line they go. They're very close indeed for second place. There's a challenge being made up the inside line there towards turn number 1. Is there a way through? Not quite for Matt Manderson, but he looks very, very racy here, doesn't he? Looks as though he feels he's got the pace to get into second place and maybe even go after the race leaders. Simon Keeble there keeping a watching brief in 4th, but he is actually coming under pressure here from the karts behind him. If he loses one more place, he will no longer be in a transfer spot for the A final. So this is important that he tries to stay as high up the order as he can. Through the chicanes they come towards the end of the lap, and bouncing their way over the curbs. Steve Beret there, the 57 car that started on the front row of the grid, has moved into the middle portion of the race. He'd actually found himself dropping down the order slightly, and in danger potentially of falling out of a transfer spot. Callum Farley here under a lot of pressure still from the 164 of Luke Collins there as they go through turn number 1. Callum Farley in the 99 machine is defending well here, but doesn't quite seem to have the pace of some of the cars in front. That possibly is because he's spending all his time defending rather than being able to concentrate on running the ideal racing lines. There's no doubt he'd be able to go quicker than this if he wasn't coming under such extreme pressure from those behind him. Across the start-finish line, though, comes your race leader, and it is Matt Manderson, who has got the lead away from Sam Gumbrell and is pulling away now. Matt Manderson looking good for a victory. Of course, the higher up you finish within that top 4, then the better your grid position is for the A final later on. And with that much overtaking to do anyway, the fewer cars you start behind, the better, really. 47 there coming through is Simon Keeble, side by side behind him. 24 that was Chris Calava with James Freeman trying to get up the inside line, I think that was. Well, though, empty road in front of the leader as it turns through the final sequence of corners once again. It's been a dominant performance this has from Matt Manderson. Once he got to the lead, he never really has looked back. He's into the closing stages of this one now. There he is, the 77 kart rounds turn 1 on rails as it turns through the right-hander. Simon Keeble there for the time being hanging on to this 4th position, mainly because Chris Calava and James Freeman have been battling so hard behind him and holding themselves up. It looks as though Freeman might have got through into 5th position, could potentially be able to go after him. Matt Manderson, though, is going to come through a winner in the B final for the senior Rotax, and he gets himself a position on the grid for the A final. Sam Gumbrell, Stephen Beret and Simon Keeble will join him. James Freeman missing out on a transfer spot by less than a tenth of a second with a 5th place finish. Chris Calava, Alan Davis, James Thompson, Callum Farley and Luke Collins will round out the top 10. As we look forward to the big one now, the London Cup final coming up next.
Matt, well done on winning the B final. You must be pretty elated to be able to make it up into the A race.
Yeah, it's good. We've got another chance to mix it with the big boys. So yeah, it's not where we want to be because we had a lot of bad luck today. But anyway, we'll see what we can do in the main race. So yeah, see what happens.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing you out there. It's not like you're adverse to a bit of overtaking, so be fun to watch.
Yeah, hopefully we'll come up a few positions in the A final anyway. See what happens.
Brilliant. Cheers, Matt.
Thanks, Lloyd.
Sam, some tough racing out there, but you fought through and came away with 2nd place.
Yeah, that was thoroughly enjoyable in that we had some mechanical difficulties going around, which put the pressure on, but as I took over my shoulder and see that the 2 guys were there was quite a gap, so the focus was A final, get a top 4 position, so sort of cruising near the end of that, just trying to bring it home and that. But no, thoroughly enjoyable. I'm really happy with 2nd as well. So.
Brilliant. Well, congratulations, and we look forward to seeing you out there in the A final.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Steve, anyone looking at the timesheets would see a front row start and 3rd place finish, but that really doesn't tell the story of the race.
No, it was quite a difficult race. I mean, it's always hard, but like the top 4 was going to go through to the A final, so that was the goal. I was a bit quicker than the guy in front, and I thought there's not really any point in dropping your nose cone, so I was just going to stay there. So I just sat on his backside.
Nicely done. As you say, it's seen you through to the A race, and we look forward to seeing you out there later on.
Yeah, I'm going to give it my best. I'm not going to win, but top 10 would be nice.
Well, we'll look forward to seeing that. Cheers, Steve.
I'll give it a go.
Here we go then, the big one, the A final for the senior Rotaxes, with Mike Spencer and Dean Bristow on the front row together, Alfie Haralambous and Hayden Cater next, then Nathan Chafer, James Webb, Taylor Bellini, Tom Sullivan, Harvey Pollock with Simon Spagnuolo rounding out the top 10. Well, we've had 4 heats so far today, and 8 different drivers have stood on the podium at one time or another across those 4 heats. However, Mike Spencer and Alfie Haralambous have won 2 heats apiece, so they surely start as the pre-race favourites. Spencer on pole, Haralambous coming from 3rd position. The lights go out, we're away and racing in the London Cup final, and it's a really, really closely fought contest into turn number 1. But Mike Spencer has held on to the lead, I believe, with Haralambous possibly into 2nd. Yes, he is. There is Alfie Haralambous in 2nd position, cart number 66. 3rd place working his way through. I think that's the number 6 of Dean Bristow. 1 or 2 running a bit wide further back as they jockey for position through the hairpins on the opening lap. They are often a bit of a pinch point on the opening laps of the races, and this grand final, absolutely no exception, as everyone just tries desperately to gain what ground they can in the early stages. So it is going to be Mike Spencer that leads. Alfie Haralambous is 2nd. 3rd place for the number 6 cart of Dean Bristow in the early stages. And in behind him, yes, 144 is Nathan Chafer from 5th on the grid. So it's Hayden Cater who's lost out. Then he started 4th, is no longer inside the top 4 carts. Those top 4 starting to pull away already, actually, in the early stages here of a 15-lap grand final. Through towards the end of the 2nd of those laps they come. We've had a couple off there, though. I think that's from the end of the 1st lap. A couple of drivers in the tyre wall. Hopefully they'll be able to get them recovered of that, having to stop the race, though. Haralambous certainly will not be wanting a restart here, because he's starting to find his feet now, pulling away slightly from Bristow and Chafer behind him. There's a bit of ground to gain to catch the race leader here. Over the curbs, through the hairpins again. Is he going to be able to close in over the remaining laps and take the victory here, take the fight for the victory to Mike Spencer? Well, actually, Haralambous, having suggested he was getting away from Dean Bristow, that appears not to be the case anymore. Bristow is sticking with him and sort of keeping the watching briefing for still is Nathan Chafer. Turn 1 though, Haralambous chasing down this man, Mike Spencer, cart number 48. Scored 73 points across his 2 heats and his qualifying session. That was 2 more than Dean Bristow and Alfie Haralambous, who were tied for 2nd on 71, and then a further 9 points back to the rest. So those 3 really were the 4 men coming into this race. I'd say that lead gap is coming down slightly, though, is it not? Alfie Haralambous appears to be closing in here slightly on Mike Spencer. Of course, with the track they come, and yes, he's right with him now. So battle joined for the race lead. Can Haralambous find a way through? Through the hairpins they go. A couple of the stragglers further back who had dramas earlier on and are just trying to really limp home now and get as good a result as they can. Reece Coker there in the 21 was one that we just spotted somewhere behind the rest of the field. Very in front of the field though, look at that, the gap between the leading 2 is now smaller than it's ever been. Alfie Haralambous is right with Mike Spencer, and this is building up very nicely indeed in the final few laps of this final. Can Mike Spencer hang on? He's led all the way so far. He led every lap of his heats as well earlier on. There's the 19 car starting to make some more progress. George Sanders started 13th, well inside the top 10 now. Great kart though, a bit further back of Jack Richards, has had some difficulties earlier on in the race. That's why he finds himself some way out of position. Mike Spencer then out of the final corner, looks behind him, sees where Alfie Haralambous is as they turn their way back through the first corner. It looks as though Mike Spencer is probably going to be able to hang on to take the victory though. Can Haralambous get through? Not too sure. Down through the hairpin they go. He's right with him. He's trying to get alongside. This is very, very close stuff indeed. But Mike Spencer is just about able to fend him off. Waiting for the leaders then to appear back in our sight through the final corner in what has been a very, very tense London Cup final here. The senior Rotaxes once again putting on a superb show, hammering the curbs through the final chicane there for Mike Spencer and Alfie Haralambous, but Spencer's hands are in the air. He's won the race. However, he's given a 10-second post-race penalty for a drop-down bumper, and Alfie Haralambous takes the victory with Tom Sullivan 2nd and James Webb rounding out the podium finishes. Spagnuolo gets into 4th position, but what drama there for Mike Spencer. Several high-profile drivers getting penalties. In fact, Piers Pryor, Taylor Bellini, Hayden Carter, Max Williams, all given 10-second penalties for the same reason, and that hands the victory to Alfie Haralambous.
Alfie, congratulations on being the 2018 London Cup champion. How do you feel?
I feel great. It's a great achievement and I just feel proud. I'd like to thank SFR Racing and especially Ian Cole for getting me here.
It's been a bit of a manic day today, hasn't it, in one way and another, and especially that last race.
Yeah, the last race, I mean, Mike was fast. He's always been fast. I was just trying to get past him, and unfortunately, I've won, so yeah, it's been great.
Well, that's the end of racing here today in the 2018 London Cup at Rye House Kart Raceway. It's been fantastic action from all the classes, from the Bambinos right the way up through cadets and the seniors. We hope you've enjoyed it, and we look forward to seeing you again very soon.